Ladies, let's be real for a second. How many times have you spritzed on your favorite perfume, only to have it fade away after just a few hours? You know the feeling. You step into the day feeling fabulous, but by lunchtime you're wondering if your perfume ever even existed. Well, let me tell you a little secret. It could be because you're applying perfume to dry skin. I know. This one caught me by surprise too. For years I did the same thing. I'd spritz perfume on my wrist and neck, not giving much thought to how my skin might be affecting the fragrance. But as I got older, I started noticing that the perfumes I'd loved for years were no longer holding their scent like they used to. I figured it was just part of the aging process, but oh, how wrong I was. As we age, our skin goes through some pretty big changes. It becomes thinner, loses moisture, and doesn't produce as much oil as it once did. This is all perfectly natural, of course, but it does mean that perfume doesn't cling to the skin the way it once did. And if you're applying your perfume to dry skin, well, it's like you're setting yourself up for failure before you even start. Perfume is meant to cling to something, right? A hydrated surface, to be exact. And when your skin is dry, the fragrance doesn't have that same kind of base to latch onto. It evaporates faster, and before you know it, you're left with a faint trace of what used to be a beautiful scent. Not exactly the result we're going for. Here's the solution. Moisturize first. Now, I know it sounds simple, but trust me, it makes a world of difference. If you want your perfume to last all day, you've got to give it a proper base to work with. So take a few minutes to apply a good unscented moisturizer to your skin. You don't need anything fancy. Just something that hydrates without adding fragrance. If your skin is still a little damp after the shower, that's even better. Once you've got your skin nice and hydrated, go ahead and spritz on your perfume. I like to apply mine to my pulse points, behind the ears, the nape of the neck, and the inside of my wrists. These spots help the fragrance to bloom and last longer. And if you really want to go the extra mile, here's a pro tip. Apply your perfume before you get dressed. You know, when your skin's all fresh out of the shower and still a little damp. That way, you're giving your fragrance the perfect canvas to work with. But be sure to let it dry before putting on your clothes. If you don't, perfume can stain your fabrics, and we don't want that. Also, remember that less is more when it comes to perfume. You don't need to drown yourself in it for it to last. A couple of spritzes on well-moisturized skin will keep you smelling lovely all day. I have to tell you, this one little change made a huge difference for me. My perfumes have never lasted as long, and I've noticed that I smell fresher and more vibrant throughout the day. My granddaughter even said, "Grandma, you smell so nice today." And I'm sure it's because of this simple trick, moisturizing first before applying perfume. So ladies, remember this. If your perfume isn't lasting, it might not be the scent, but the dryness of your skin. Moisturize, spritz, and watch your fragrance last longer than ever. Trust me, your skin and your nose will thank you. All right, ladies, let's move on to a biggie. Overspraying. I know we all want to leave a lasting impression, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to smell fabulous. But here's the thing. When it comes to perfume, more isn't always better. In fact, overspraying is one of the quickest ways to make yourself and your fragrance fall flat. Now, I'll admit, I've been guilty of this one too. There were times when I'd get a new bottle of perfume, and before I knew it, I'd be spritzing myself left, right, and center, thinking that a cloud of fragrance would leave a bigger impact. But let me tell you something I've learned the hard way. An overwhelming scent doesn't make you memorable. It just makes you smell like a walking perfume counter. I totally get it. You want to smell amazing, and you're probably thinking that the more perfume you apply, the longer it'll last. But here's the truth. Over-applying perfume can actually have the opposite effect. The key to wearing fragrance is balance. When you overspray, you risk drowning out the subtlety of the scent, and what was once a beautiful perfume becomes overpowering. And let's be honest, no one wants to be the person whose perfume makes the whole room stop and cough. As we get older, our sense of smell tends to weaken a bit. That's just a natural part of aging. But it can trick us into thinking we need to apply more to compensate. But the truth is, other people's noses are still as sharp as ever. You might not smell yourself the way others do, which is why it's so important to be mindful of how much you're spritzing. So, how much perfume should you really be wearing? The general rule is to stick to 2 to 3 spritzes max. I know it's tempting to apply more, but trust me, a little goes a long way. I like to spray on my pulse points, behind the ears, on the wrists, and just below the throat. These are the spots where the fragrance will warm up and release naturally throughout the day. Here's a trick I use to keep myself in check. Spray, then step into the mist. This way, the scent gently settles on you without being overwhelming. It's like being enveloped in a cloud of fragrance without ever overdoing it. When you apply too much perfume, you're not only risking the chance of a headache or eye-watering reaction, but you're also masking the beautiful layers of the fragrance. Perfumes are crafted with top, middle, and base notes, each designed to unfold at different times, creating a dynamic scent experience. But when you spray too much, all those delicate notes get lost in a sea of overpowering fragrance, and you're left with nothing but a one-note wonder. On top of that, perfume can start to mix with your body's natural oils and sweat, which can change the way it smells over time. Overspraying makes it more likely that the perfume will combine with your own scent in a way that doesn't complement your natural chemistry. And believe me, that's a cocktail no one wants to drink if you find that you're still not sure. If you've sprayed too much, there's an easy way to check. Ask a friend, seriously. If you're not sure how much is enough, ask someone you trust to give you an honest opinion. The beauty of wearing perfume is the subtlety. And if your friend can smell you from a mile away, it's probably time to scale it back. Also, remember that different perfumes require different application techniques. Heavier scents like florals and orientals need less, while lighter scents like citrus or fresh florals might benefit from a tiny extra spritz. But that doesn't mean you should douse yourself in it. The bottom line is this: less is definitely more when it comes to perfume. Overspraying may seem like a shortcut to lasting fragrance, but it's actually the fastest way to make your scent fall flat. Stick to a few spritzes on your pulse points, step into the mist, and let your fragrance do its job without overpowering the room. And don't forget, subtlety is your best friend in the world of perfume. You'll be amazed at how much more enjoyable your scent experience becomes when you keep it balanced. So, the next time you reach for your favorite bottle, just remember this simple rule: 2 to 3 spritzes. Your perfume and those around you will thank you. All right, ladies. Let's talk about something that might be a little tricky to admit: wearing the wrong fragrance for the season. Now, I know that the bottle of perfume you've been wearing for years feels like a part of you. It's your signature scent, the one you've worn through countless seasons, and I get it. There's a sense of comfort in it. But, and hear me out here, wearing a heavy winter fragrance in the middle of a sweltering summer is not doing you any favors. It's easy to get attached to a particular fragrance. We all have that one scent we reach for in the morning when we need that little pick-me-up, and that's great. But just like we adjust our wardrobe to match the changing seasons, it's important to switch up our perfumes too. Your skin changes with the weather, and so does your fragrance. In the colder months, heavier, warmer scents with notes like vanilla, amber, or musk can wrap you up in a comforting, cozy cloud. But in the summer, those same deep, rich scents can feel suffocating. They might even make you feel older than you are, because they have a tendency to come off as overpowering when the weather's hot. It's like trying to wear a wool sweater in the middle of a heat wave. It just doesn't work, does it? Here's the thing. Fragrances are like fashion. They evolve with the seasons, and they should. In the summer, you want something light, fresh, and airy. Think citrusy notes, floral bouquets, or even light aquatic scents. These fragrances breathe with you, moving in a way that complements the warmth and brightness of the season. A refreshing scent like lemon or grapefruit will leave you feeling energized, while soft florals like jasmine or lavender can feel clean and breezy without being overpowering. On the other hand, during fall and winter, when the air is crisper and cooler, it's time to bring out the heavier, deeper fragrances. Spicy notes like cinnamon, clove, or sandalwood can give you that warm, comforting vibe that feels right when you're bundled up in scarves and coats. But don't just jump for anything with a musky base. There are plenty of heavier perfumes with notes of wood and spice that still feel elegant, not cloying. Perfume doesn't just change based on the season because of the weather. It also changes how it interacts with your skin. The warmer your skin, the faster the fragrance will evaporate. And in the heat of summer, that's a problem. When it's hot, perfume tends to turn more intense and can quickly become overwhelming. Conversely, during the colder months, the fragrance sticks to your skin longer, so you want something a bit richer and more lasting. As we get older, we may notice that fragrances don't last as long on our skin. This is because our skin's oil production tends to decrease as we age, and oils help lock in scent. But don't let that discourage you from experimenting with different scents. I have found that lighter, fresher perfumes tend to last longer for me in the summer, while richer scents stay with me more reliably in the winter. Now here's how I manage the shift between seasons, without losing my signature scent identity. Of course. First, I keep my spring and summer perfumes in one section of my vanity, and my fall and winter scents in another. That way I can clearly see what's in rotation and easily reach for what matches the weather. Another trick I've learned is to rotate perfumes in a way that matches my mood, not just the weather. Sometimes when the temperature starts to drop, I'm in the mood for a fragrance that feels like a warm hug. Other times I just want something that smells like sunshine, even if I'm indoors. Switching scents based on my mood, rather than just the calendar, has made all the difference. Ladies, it's time to retire the heavy perfumes when the sun is out and welcome something light and lively into your routine. And when the days get cooler, don't be afraid to embrace those rich, deep scents that feel like a warm blanket. Just like your wardrobe, your perfume collection deserves to evolve with the seasons. Remember, the right scent at the right time not only complements the weather, it complements you. So, take a look at your perfume collection and start thinking about what will make you feel fresh in the summer and cozy in the winter. Your scent will not only feel more appropriate, but you'll also smell more radiant, youthful, and, most importantly, like yourself. All right, ladies, this is the big one. The one we've all been guilty of at least once in our lives. You know what I'm talking about. Spraying on too much perfume. We've all been there, right? You get a new bottle of your favorite scent, and you're so excited to wear it that you end up drowning yourself in it. I get it. You want to smell fabulous all day long. But trust me, less really is more when it comes to fragrance. Sometimes we think that the more perfume we wear, the better we'll smell. And maybe, just maybe, if we use a little more, people will really notice how great we smell. But here's the thing. Wearing too much perfume can actually age you. It can make you come off as trying too hard, and that's not the vibe we want. As we get older, our skin changes. The skin that once held a fragrance lightly now absorbs it differently. Perfume can start to linger for longer periods, especially if you're using a stronger scent. And I'll tell you this, there's nothing more overwhelming than walking into a room, and the first thing people notice is the cloud of perfume you've left behind. It's a subtle thing, but trust me, too much fragrance is a sure way to make you feel less fresh. So, how much is the right amount? Well, I've learned a few tricks over the years. First of all, never ever spray perfume directly onto your clothes. While it might seem like a good idea, especially with a scent you really want to last, it can leave stains or make the fabric smell different than you intended. Plus, it's easy to end up with an overpowering cloud. Instead, focus on spraying your pulse points. These are the areas where blood vessels are closest to the skin, like the inside of your wrists, the crook of your elbows, behind your ears, and the back of your knees. These areas naturally radiate heat, which helps the fragrance come alive. And here's the thing, just a couple of spritzes at each pulse point is enough. No need to drench yourself in it. Trust me, a little goes a long way. Now you might be thinking, but I want to smell good all day long. I get it. We all want that. But here's where things can go wrong. Too much fragrance can become heavy and suffocating. And it's not just about being annoying to others. It can also make you feel like you've just walked into a cloud of perfume. And that's not the pleasant sensation we're going for. Overdoing it can also aid you in a way that you might not even notice. Perfumes with strong, overpowering notes, like spicy or woody fragrances, can be beautiful, but too much of them can give off a dated vibe. They may remind people of something from a time when heavier scents were the norm. You want your fragrance to complement you, not overwhelm. Here's the rule I follow. Keep it simple. Less is always more. And if you're ever in doubt, just spray once, then walk through the mist. This way, the fragrance lingers without smothering you. And remember, fragrance is meant to be an accessory, not a statement. If you're still feeling unsure about how much to wear, I've got another tip. Start with lighter fragrances and work your way up. Lighter florals or citrus-based scents tend to be much more forgiving in terms of how much you can wear. They're fresh, airy, and won't weigh you down. Another thing to keep in mind is that our sense of smell can get used to things quickly. If you wear the same fragrance day after day, you might stop noticing how strong it is. That's why it's always a good idea to ask someone you trust for their opinion. Have your friend, sister, or partner tell you if your scent is lingering too long, or if it's just the right amount. At the end of the day, your fragrance should feel like a subtle enhancement, a light whisper of who you are. The goal isn't to have people smell you before they see you, or leave a trail behind you wherever you go. When you get the balance right, your perfume will be something that people notice, but only when they get close. So, next time you reach for that bottle of perfume, remember this: a little goes a long way. Spray with intention, and don't overdo it. Because when you wear the right amount of fragrance, you'll be the one everyone remembers, not the scent lingering in the air. And remember, my darling, you are already fabulous. Your fragrance should just be the finishing touch. Before you go, I'd love for you to share the love. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more fresh insights on how to feel confident elegant, and yes, fabulous every single day. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. What's your favorite perfume tip? I'm always excited to hear from you.